In one of my previous videos, I brought up a Texas press conference in regards to a Texas freeze warning. In February of 2021, Winter Storm Uri shut down parts of the power grid in Texas. Later, in December 2022, another winter storm was forecast. So the press conference was about the Texas power grid and the coming storm in 2022. In that press conference, one of the officials said we need the equivalent of a new Corpus Christi added to the grid every year. At the time, I thought it was an odd statement. Now I've come across another piece of the puzzle, and of course, it would be related to the digital prison. Their new power structure is related to Bitcoin mining. I will play that press conference again.
The grid today is reliable, but our state's growth means that we need to plan for the grid of the future. Our reliability reforms are working, but it's not a permanent fix. Our growth means that we have the equivalent of a new Corpus Christi added to our grid every year. The on-demand generation we have today is reliable, but we need more of it. And that's why we're focused on continuing reforms that incentivizes more on-demand generation and prioritizes reliability and affordability. The future of Texas is bright, but we need to make sure it stays powered.
So now I will play some of the excerpts from the interview with the CEO of Saxit Energy Company.
Howdy, everyone. Christine here, and I am sitting with Steve Quisenberry of Saxit Infrastructure Group, the CEO, and they just announced that they are launching 300 megawatts of mining in Texas.
Well, we're excited to launch our 300 megawatts down in Corpus Christi. So brand new energy park, the Saxit Infrastructure Group that's leading that development of that energy park. The energy park consists of 300 megawatts of Bitcoin mining, both air and hydro-cooled.
Okay.
As well as a 300 megawatt battery energy storage facility located on the same parcel of land down in Corpus Christi. Our team's been doing traditional generation, thermal generation, open and combined cycle power plants, as well as wind and solar and battery storage. We have a development pipeline of battery projects as well, and we've also ventured into the hydrogen space here lately. Well, Load Zone South has a benefit to it compared to other load zones in Texas for the need for Bitcoin mine due to the on-peak wind that's available coming off the coastal bend region of Texas, right? So we have daytime on-peak wind flow that keeps the renewables powering during the daytime, whereas in West Texas, the wind blows at night. And so the on-peak spikes can be greater. So we get a more even, lower cost of energy in Load Zone South than pretty much anywhere in Texas.
Now, back when I used to do surveying, I worked on laying out some of those wind turbines by the town of Taft. That is by Corpus Christi. When I worked in West Texas, I saw many wind turbines while working for pipeline companies. I am familiar with the areas he is talking about. So now the CEO of Saxit describes why he picked my former hometown of Corpus Christi.
Well, we had actually procured this site down in Corpus following the Winter Storm Uri. We were going to build gas turbine peakers in the location. We started looking for a location to install a couple hundred megawatts of peakers. And then as the Bitcoin folks got kicked out of China, and our phone started ringing because of our knowledge of the ERCOT grid, asking for help to locate and site new facilities. And so we started looking into it and got more and more excited about it because we actually see the controllable load is a better solution for the grid than even new fast dispatchable peak. More load creates more generation, and more generation means more renewables. So what we see is in this space, the miners traditionally are giving up their optionality, as we call it, to the hosting companies. The miner is the one that owns the equipment. They own the computers and the ASICs. And for them, they have the ability to turn up and down. the hosting company needs to provide the operational excellence and basically a capital recovery for their investors. However, the miner needs to be able to change their strategy over time and not be locked into a fixed rate. So what we do is we provide a fixed hosting fee.
Okay.
And the miner we have a very good retail energy partner, and our miner has the ability to change their strategy on a very frequent or infrequent basis, how they see fit, because ERCOT is going to look different 18 months from now, 24 months from now, 5 years from now. The Bitcoin profitability will look different at each halving event, et cetera.
Yes.
So the need to change your strategy needs to be open and transparent. So we see this as just a transparent play with the miners.
Another thing I notice is how these Bitcoiners talk about how Bitcoin mining helps out the power grid. So according to the Saxit boss, these Bitcoin mining machines draw more power from the grid. So Bitcoin mining doesn't actually create power. He then goes on to say that because it draws more power, this forces the grid to generate more power, creating a cycle. Bitcoin mining operations also have a battery storage area to store power from the grid. Then, when there's a power disruption, like a freeze or a heat wave, the mining machines can stop, and the battery cells can redirect their stored power to the grid to help prevent an outage. Does this sound like an accurate summary? And here is what I gather what mining is. These mining computers are performing mathematical calculations. So I have a couple of questions. What are these mathematical calculations? What are these computers trying to figure out? And how do math equations create money? This sounds like a scam. Here's another question. Where are these mining machines being made? I know from research on one of my digital prison videos that China makes a lot of these machines, devices, and parts for Bitcoin mining. And no one sees a problem with this? Is China the only one manufacturing these machines? Now, the state of Texas wants these installations all over. They want a new Corpus Christi added to the grid every year. So they want the body of Christ added to the grid? Well, that's all I'm going to say for this video. Thanks for watching.